know I just met you, but I think in time you won't regret this ride that you're on. You'll be glad that you're mine, 'cause I'm good when I'm good.
You're listening to We Patriot Radio on the Foxhole Radio Network. Currently playing Taylor Jerry. Better When I'm Bad.
I find in love with no regret. What I'm trying to say is I'm good when I'm good, but baby, I'm good when I'm bad.
Left your left, hey. Left, right, your left. You got it.
Trucker.
Tom Cruise, roll out. You're watching or listening to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. We the people, the People's Patriot Project.
For a place to put your skill set, your thoughts, and ideas, or want to help continue the mission, you have come to the right place. We are the People's Patriot Project, and we are the shock and awe when it comes to meeting the needs of our veterans and first responders. We are dealing with a new enemy in today's world where the wounds are not always seen. We want you to be a part of this mission in saving lives and making a difference. Welcome to We Got Your 6 at 6 Patriot Playtime. Here's the We P3 team bringing you today's best heroes hits in the boots on the ground organizations that are saving lives. And as always, Patriot Pride.
Left, your left, hey. Left, right, your left. You got it.
Trucker.
Good evening and welcome to the People's Patriot Project and our weekly show. We've got your 6 at 6. I'm Andrea Eichmann and I love that you're here watching and going to be conversing with us shortly. Every week we bring you a guest. Many times we bring a new artist in or a music artist and we share all the good and sometimes not so good things that are happening in our world. This week we'll have music in company with Johnny Cole Murdoch. And we'll have a great conversation with Jared Bradley. He's here visiting us to share what he's up to these days. Tonight's episode is featured by our sponsors, Bottle Breacher, that's with Mike Wall, Catch 22 with Derek Iozio, Operation Texas Strong with the Kretzingers, Poem Speak with Stephen Bates, Contagion Effect, and our very own Kimmer Gwinner. Brian Kenzer, he's with us and supports VP3 with his business, Smart Living Today. It's about American-made products, a new place to shop, and a stream to help support the People's Patriot Project while you are shopping. He'll be in later with a message. The People's Patriot Project, we got your 6 at 6, can also be heard on Wreaths Across America Radio, Monday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern. Hang on to your hats. I think that's Tuesdays. Tuesdays at 11 p.m. Eastern. You can find Wreaths Across America Radio on the iHeart Radio app, the Audacity app, and TuneIn Radio app, just with the simple search Wreaths. And I've got a link for you here as well. Thank you to everyone, our sponsors, our guests, our viewers. Before starting this week's show, we ask that you take off your hats, stand and cover your hearts, and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Boom. Here we go.
Hello, hello.
Get everyone in the right order here. Put them where they all belong. Welcome. It is May 26th. You can throw a rock and hit June. But today we're walking into a day tomorrow that we should all take a moment in time to think about why we get to do what we get to do. Tomorrow, as all of you know, is Memorial Day. And I know we have a lot of people that get up in arms when people don't do it right. And we've got people in the world that, want to say thank you for your service. And, it's not about Service Day tomorrow, but it is about those that we've lost in the processes of giving us the liberties and the freedoms that we have. So take time tomorrow. Enjoy your family. Enjoy the ones that are there and remember the ones that aren't. And just take a moment to take a deep breath and think about, hey, I get to do this. I get to fry or cook or barbecue or put mustard or ketchup on this hot dog the way I want to, because the men and women who have given us these opportunities and may not be here to talk about that today. Boom. Greetings. Look at our crew tonight. Boom. We got Mr. Jared Bradley. I'm really super excited for you to hear what this guy does in the world. And it's that CSI stuff, man. It's behind. Oh man, it's cool. It's cool. And I'm not even smart enough to talk about it, so I won't even try and pretend. And then we've got Mr. Johnny Cole Murdoch, who's been in the family for a chunk of time now. I remember the day I got to lay paws on you, brother. I remember the day I got to lay paws on you. Just coming into the COVID world, we'd been lucky enough to be invited down to Nashville to watch Chris Turner and his Stop 22 tour kickoff. And lo and behold, the next thing we know, we've got Johnny Cole Murdoch, who's in our space. And he had this long, lavishing red hair back then that he no longer has it anymore. He's cleaned up. He's an All-American now. He's
I'm growing it back out for America.
Are you growing it back out for America?
At least for now. I don't know. I lost that off last week. Who knows?
Jeremy Daniels, good to see you, brother. Amanda, Love having you here. Thank you, Jonathan. We tolerate you. You're here, and you're carrying the guide on down in Louisiana, getting stuff done. They were busy at an event this weekend. We'll hear more about that. Mr. Cook is going to be boots on the ground tomorrow, doing a 10-mile ruck in honor of Memorial Day. Thank you, brother, for being there, for being part of the mission and having boots on the ground, sending the message. David Willis Jr., Semper Fi, brother. Good to have you. And messages from people coming through. Awesome. Mr. Crochet, can you tell us what's in the news, brother?
All right. So May is National Military Appreciation Month, and Congress would designate it as National Military Appreciation Month in 1999 to ensure the nation was given the chance to publicly show appreciation for troops both past and present. May is also Mental Health Awareness Month, and it's a time to raise awareness of and reduce the stigma surrounding behavioral health issues, as well as highlighting the ways how mental illness and addiction can affect all of us. The stigma around mental health and treatment has long existed. Even though this has started to change, people hesitate to seek help or even talk about it with their loved ones for fear of being judged and facing unnecessary backlash. Tomorrow, as we already spoke about, is Memorial Day, and is set aside to honor the men and women who have not only served in the United States Armed Forces, but have paid the ultimate sacrifice while doing so. The day is a very popular holiday, unofficially. People have grown to celebrate Memorial Day also as the unofficial beginning of summer, but that's not where the holiday originated, and that's not what it means for most Americans. It actually began as Decoration Day following the Civil War, and mourners would place flowers on the graves of both Union and Confederate soldiers, and then it grew into Memorial Day, which is to celebrate and remember those who have given their lives in service. May 29th is the anniversary of the Army Chaplain Corps. This year, it's celebrating 249 years of existence. It was established by the Continental Congress in 1775. The chaplain's primary role is to look after the religious and moral well-being of soldiers and their families. Chaplains are charged to nurture the living, care for the wounded, and honor the fallen. There are approximately 3,000 chaplains serving in the United States military. And that is all for the news.
Outstanding. Let's go through real quick, and again, we understand the levity of what tomorrow represents, but is there anything that you and your family spends a little time doing, Jared?
You know what, guys? I just love the afternoon, the time off. You know what? Like we said, start of summer. You know, school's finally out. I've got 5 kids, 3 still in junior high, and so yeah, man, just relieving myself of the whole burden of school and making sure kids are where they're supposed to be. I mean, my wife does most of that, obviously, but to me, it's just a relaxing day, a day of appreciation, and I just make sure that the kids understand what the day is all about.
Outstanding. Miss Eichmann.
Well, can you tell me the question again? Sorry.
You're fine. Is there anything you got planned to do for your Memorial Day?
Oh, yeah. No, nothing solid. We actually had dinner tonight, and then tomorrow, I think that I will be Hastings veterans get together and do this really cool run from Red Wing to Hastings. So it's a 28-mile run walk. And I didn't plan on participating, but they have service for send off and service for their return, and then some music and stuff tomorrow night. So that was kind of in my head to do tomorrow.
Mr. Murdoch, any plans for you, brother?
Yeah, I might go down to Dallas. I'm probably going to smoke a brisket tonight for tomorrow, but there's a really cool organization called Guitars for Vets that I'm trying to get a chapter started out here in East Texas where I'm at, but they got one in Dallas and they got an event going on at I think a VFW down there. So I'm going to go check out that and try to support. So
Awesome.
as much as I love guitars and free guitars, I don't need them nor guitar lessons, but I want to help out my fellow vets and kind of give back. So
I love it. Let's check that time, mark that thing, and if you have time tonight, Johnny, after the show, we'd like to continue that conversation with some other pieces. So,
all right,
love the connection, love the camaraderie, love the collaboration, and it just doesn't get done unless people work together and all boots on the ground. Man, come to the call to action. Jonathan Crochet, what do you got, man?
I gotta unmute myself first. I got the chance to celebrate Memorial Day a little bit early. I had a really, really, really long day yesterday, from about 7 a.m. till 10 o'clock last night, probably. But big event put on by a local veterans organization that we've had on here in the past. It's a South Louisiana Veterans Outreach. I was out there yesterday assisting those guys. Just talking to a bunch of veterans, and I don't really. I always say it kind of jokingly, shaking hands and kissing babies, but it really was just a lot of introducing everybody to what we're doing and what we got going on, and just having great conversation with veterans and things like that. Tomorrow, unfortunately, I'll be working, so. I'll probably come home from that and spend a little time sitting on the sofa with the family, but I don't really have major plans for tomorrow. This weekend was fantastic, though.
Awesome. Miss Kimmer.
Well, I plan to take a moment or two to recognize the fallen. Then I'm going to spend most of the day probably taking care of my mental health and spending time with my wife.
Outstanding. Mr. Kinzer.
Hey, Mark. Thanks. I actually started on Friday. I took my daughters down. Prior in the week, we had gone out and volunteered to plant flags at the War Memorial here in Milwaukee. We have what's called a Field of Flags. So there was almost 28,000 flags put in that symbolizes all the vets killed in action from Wisconsin since the Civil War. And on Friday, they had a memorial service and a flyover, and I got to take both my daughters to that. So it was really cool. And then tomorrow, my daughters and granddaughters are coming over, so I'm going to cook them a great meal and tell them why Memorial Day is such a special day and more than just cook out in the day off of work and school.
I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for all your guys' thoughts. I feel, and maybe this is my survivor remorse kicking in a little bit. I always feel a little guilty. I feel a little guilty. And it is what it is with the dynamics of things that's happening in my space right now. Got to do some things a little closer to home than I'm normally used to. And there's never been a time or place where I've officially, now there's a War Memorial Park that's just south of St. Francis, Minnesota. I go down to Blaine and I hang out there and see what they do there. I'm really interested in doing flags at Fort Snelling because that is a kind of a sister organization to what we're doing with Wreaths Across America there. And we just haven't been able to connect, and they're busy, and I get it. And but tomorrow, I think I'm just going to kind of chill for once. We've had a long couple of weeks, and personally, and but don't kid yourself. We'll be here we got your the
debrief.
4:30 show debrief, and we'll do a little memorial during that time as well. But I think I'm just going to chill for a day and remember the fact that I get to chill because of the men and women that have given me that opportunity. Mr. Cook, again, thank you, brother, for the things that you're doing down there in Savannah, Tennessee tomorrow. Keep it going. Amanda, great. I do like to put this moniker out there, and it is part of our, I don't know, our battle cry, or I don't know what the exact terminology would be, but we do like to say to remember is not enough. We do want people to put themselves into a position of action. The People's Patriot Project is called We the People, the People's Patriot Project, for a reason. And it's that we want to honor the men and women who have given us the freedoms. And we believe that our first responders and our veteran service members all play a key component in making sure that no one's kicking in our back door at any given moment for the most part. I do know that there's the rogue situations and it's not pleasant. I also do know that our veterans and our first responders have one wish, and that's to make it home safe with their friends and their family. The rest of us have thousands and thousands of other wishes. We want to be on the lake. We want to be, grilling the coolest food ever. We want to have the nicest things. And again, don't get me wrong. Veterans and first responders want some of those items too, but primarily the number one thing that they want to do is make it home at any given day that they are in service. And so let's keep our men and women in thought. And again, when you get the chance, I ask that you be part of the action, boots on the ground, and showing the men and women the support they deserve so that we can make the hot dog the way we want to make our hot dog. Look at our amazing panel. Miss Kimmer, start us off with a poem.
Okay. Well, let me tell everybody that I was in a hard place last weekend, and you'll understand. But this one's called Ashes to Ashes and Dust to Dust. Ashes to ashes and dust to dust. Today reading this has now become a must. It meant that Kim has met her end. Yes, it's time to say goodbye to our friend. She fought countless battles in the past, but this last one, well, it kicked her ass. See, her demons and her pain finally won. It's all now final. It's all said and done. But let it be known she didn't go without a fight. Yes, in the end, she took her life. She had prepared for when this day would come, and believe it or not, she wants you to have fun. Her playlists have been made. She wants you to celebrate all day. From her bourbon collection, grab a fifth, and with others share Kim's myth. Of the good, the bad, and the fun times had, she would rather have you laugh than to be sad. She's smiling right now, that's for sure, because of your friendship that was pure. You had a place in her heart. Don't allow her suicide to leave a mark. She just wanted to feel peace, but there was no other way for her to release. So please be happy she's finally free. Please, for now, let us all agree.
Wow.
It got that deep, that hard.
Well, we're super glad that you're here reading that to us today. For sure. Be a big part of what's lost.
Thank you. Thank you.
Jared Bradley.
Yes, sir.
Tell us who you are, what and what you're doing.
What I am? Well, that's a deep subject right there, brother. I am the president of a company called MVAC Systems. We do DNA collection. So I travel the country and even the world, headed to Slovakia in a month or two, and going to head over there to the Europeans and teach them how to do it too. We've got a system that it sprays a solution. It works just like a carpet cleaner. So it sprays a solution down onto the surface and vacuums up DNA. So we just go all over the world teaching people how to, especially law enforcement, how to collect DNA better, and so they can solve cases and bring justice to the victims.
This is mesmerizing to me because
Mark.
I think we lost Mark.
I think he froze in serious thought.
Someone take a snapshot of that.
No kidding.
That's some serious thought right there.
Well, alrighty then.
You had a brain freeze. Give him a break.
Just,
What was that movie? The Beach Blanket Bingo?
I don't know what he was going to say.
It started with mesmerizing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure his wife is a watcher. She was on here a minute ago. I don't know for sure. Maybe she watches those crime scene movies, those over and over and over again all day long on 4 different channels. And I don't even have cable. I don't know. I don't know where he was going with that. He'll be back. So you go around the world. I was actually just looking at your website, and you have a whole list of experience behind you as well.
Yeah, I've been around a little bit. I right out of college, I went into the Army. So, I was in the National Guard prior to that, but after college, I got commissioned and I was stationed at Campbell with the 101st for a few years. And after that, I was just numerous jobs bouncing around till finally I made the mistake of complaining to my dad one time. He grew up on a ranch in Idaho. And so, complaining about how hard I got it didn't sit real well with him. And so he just said, well, shut up and come work for me. So that's how I ended up with MVAC Systems. And initially we were working with the food industry and, collecting E. coli and salmonella and stuff like that, trying to make the food safer. But what we realized is that it wasn't really a win-win. They didn't really want to find as much as we were able to provide them. And so in 2012, we pivoted into forensics, and we've been helping solve crime ever since.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's very cool.
And you say
you got like a ton of chemists.
Sorry, say that again.
You have like a ton of chemists doing like R&D for some of those things.
We used to have more biologists and a few engineers, helping design it. But now we're just kind of into just pushing it out there more. It's a pretty good product. So
Cool.
We can collect 50, 60 times what any other method can. And so when you're talking minute amounts of DNA, like, if I grab your shirt sleeve, for example, like we've never met before, I grab your shirt sleeve, someone else could bring our system in, vacuum your shirt sleeve, and get my profile off of your shirt just that fast. It's pretty amazing.
Very interesting.
Well, I try to stay abreast while you guys were. Apparently, during a live show, it's a good time your computer says, "Let's refresh," and I don't know. That's happened twice in the last 3 weeks. I don't know what's going on. We'll figure it out. Time to get a technician in on this thing, but I'm mesmerized. And again, you continued the conversation about DNA. How much DNA actually is affecting our country, our culture, our world right now, and what they're actually accomplishing with all the steps of DNA. Now, I'm not going to go down any rabbit holes or anything like that, but you guys are affecting legislation. You guys are affecting culture. You guys are affecting stuff that has taken place decades ago. Your product is able to change people's lives, and I'm just blown away by that. In the fact that people who were stuck, I mean, that they didn't. DNA, tell me when DNA started being a factor in solving crimes.
I think the first case that was actually solved with DNA was back in the 80s. But they were mostly just looking for like blood type. You know, you had to have a spot of blood, you know, maybe the size of a silver dollar or a 50-cent piece. And now it's refined so much that they only need 6 to 10 cells to actually get your profile off of something. And so, put that into context, every day, every single one of us sloughs off about 400,000 cells. So they only need 10 of those to make a profile. So your DNA is everywhere. And, you know, that brings up all sorts of issues when you start talking about, you know, Fourth Amendment and that kind of thing. But the key is it's sensitive enough, but it's only one little cog in the wheel. You know, detectives, nobody should ever get convicted of a crime just based on one piece of evidence alone. It should be a whole story. But DNA is a really powerful tool, and especially now that they're not only looking at the DNA where law enforcement specifically looks at your DNA profile, but it's getting into what's called FIG, which is Forensics Investigative Genetic Genealogy, is what FIG stands for. And that's kind of that's how they solved the Golden State Killer case. And so that's basically looking at your family tree and finding people that are related to you who may be in the database, and then kind of narrowing it down. And then once they narrow it down to, say, you know, 7 suspects, then they can switch over to the traditional DNA as we know it. You know, we see it on CSI and that kind of thing. So it's pretty cool. There's a lot of really cool cases that are being solved with DNA, both on the standard STR is what it stands for. But that's CODIS. Have you ever heard of the national database? It's called CODIS.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's based on standard tandem repeat. That's the STR is part of your DNA strand, and then the genealogy is based on a different part of the DNA strand. So it's pretty amazing. It's cool stuff. But just with the MVAC system, the oldest case that we've helped solve is 56 years.
I was going to say, because like you had said, in the 80s is when DNA started playing a role, but we're going decades before now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, as long as the evidence was collected properly and stored in a cool, dry place, it'll last for decades. And yeah, they've pulled clothing and stuff out of the evidence lockers, and we've had a chance, you know, shot at it, and we can get profiles. So pretty amazing.
Hey, Mark, I have a comment. Jared, you mentioned that the first target industry that you worked for wasn't really interested in having the information that you could provide. What was that about?
You know, that's kind of one of those rabbit holes I'm not sure we want to go down.
Okay. All right.
The moral of the story is cook your food. So, you know, when you're out there, you know, slinging your hamburgers and hot dogs, just make sure they've reached sufficient temperatures to kill off whatever the food industry didn't catch.
Got it. Yeah, I didn't mean to take away from what you're talking about, but I just caught that and I was interested.
Oh no, there's we could go on and on about that. We tried to get the food industry to use the MVAC, I don't know, 6-7 years, and it just collected more than what they wanted to find. So
yeah.
Is there still a chance, you think?
That's, you know, I don't know. It would take some major changes probably from Washington D.C., but they've had enough food recalls and mass sicknesses. The first major E. coli outbreak was back in 1993. Jack in the Box hamburgers were cooked to order, and so there was if they've been trying, some people have been trying to get legislation and stuff passed since then. So if it hasn't happened in, what is that, 40 years? I don't know. I'm not 30 years. Get my math right. But still, it's I think just people being more educated on the consumer side is pretty much the only thing that'll ever happen.
I totally have a rabbit hole I want to go down, but I'll leave it alone. I'll go there a little bit. Do you think that it's plausible, because this has nothing to do with what you came on the show for, but I remember as a kid, and maybe even through college, we could leave a pizza on the counter for 3 or 4 days and come back, take a bite, yeah, I'll be good. And that's just the way life was. Or a KFC bucket of chicken, that would sit out in the sun for a day, and you'd still go over and take it. Have we become weaker, or do we think we are? It's just another. The strands are getting stronger. I don't know. I'm out there a little bit. Any thoughts?
I'm not. You're way out of my league right here,
okay.
man.
I'm not out of your league. That's for sure. That's just.
I think they just used a lot. They used a lot more plastic back then.
Okay, fair enough.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't have any idea, man.
I think we're more conscious of it.
Are we?
That's really what it is.
I think Gabriel and Andrea are trying to get me in trouble here with doing this Peterson talk behind the scenes here. We don't need to worry about how many other Petersons are out there. It's everyone's in line, and we know structurally where family lines are. That's how we're going to address that.
You're a clone. It was the clone thing. Not many Petersons.
Thank goodness we can't clone. No one wants more than one of this. That's for sure. Johnny Cole Murdoch, how you been,
sir.
brother?
I've been pretty fantastic. Can't complain there.
What have you been up to?
I've been up to working on releasing some new music. I released a new song this past week. I guess like a couple of weeks ago, called Heart Sunk Low. It's out on streaming platforms, and it has not only one but 2 guitar solos in it, because you need lots of guitar solos.
True.
So,
tell us about your service and what got you here, man.
Yeah, I served in the U.S. Air Force for 6 years. The majority of my time was in Minot, North Dakota, where I maintained ICBMs. There's like 150 missile silos up there that always have to be on alert, like 100, 365 days a year. Like it's like a constant thing, because like they all got to be pointed at their targets. And it's something that not a lot of people think about, unless something bad happens in all reality, but they're always there ready to go. And actually I did a pretty interesting interview with a guy from military.com, like the news organization, because there's like tons of stuff that us maintainers and even some of the capsule crew members that work on ICBMs are exposed to. And a lot of people are developing cancer. I developed hypothyroidism from being exposed to like the radiation. So there's just like tons of stuff on there. But yeah, kind of like a lot.
I mean, I'm saying this jokingly, and that's scary considering the subject matter you just brought up, because that's important to address. But I know being sentenced to Minot is like what it's like for Russians to be sentenced to Siberia. And so we apologize that you had to spend that amount of time in Minot, North Dakota. And I'm totally saying that tongue in cheek. I wish you would have been there when China had the balloon come across America, because I think you'd have probably had a better handle on making sure that balloon didn't get all the way across down to Florida. But I mean, I know you've been busy in Nashville, busy in Texas. putting out your amazing craft, and so we appreciate that. You want to roll your song now?
Yeah, let's roll it, or spin it, or twist it, pop it,
spin it. Spin it, pop it, slap it. Let's not do that. We won't slap it.
One more? No, okay.
This is Johnny Cole Murdoch with Heart Sunk Low. That is Johnny Cole Murdoch with Heart Sunk Low. You put a little kick in there, brother.
Yeah.
That's
I was eating some hot sauce when I wrote it.
You doing the hot sauce these days.
Yeah.
This is also weird how this has now changed our whole format of our show, which is fine. Would you say that there's been a rebirth of Johnny Cole Murdoch over the last 3 years?
Yeah, I was like, I popped out and it's like time to do something a little different.
Okay.
I mean, basically, like, I've always loved guitar stuff and kind of like, like sitting, just being sick, dealing with sickness for 2 years, not playing music because I literally lost my voice. Like I haven't really talked about it too much. You're actually the first interview talking about it. Like when I first released Girl Let's Go Dancing in 2021, I was on Texas radio. I was doing these radio tours, and then all of a sudden, like felt really sick. I lost my voice, even having a normal conversation with fatigue it for like 2 weeks, and it would hurt to talk. So, like with, a lot of time kind of going by, I was like, okay, I want to kind of do more rock, kind of Southern rock kind of stuff. And that's what I'm kind of leaning into. So definitely a little bit of rebranding.
I like it. I liked Girl Let's Go Dancing. I mean, that was a great song. I don't know if we still have it in our wheelhouse here, but I know it is on WP3 Radio. Is that a problem that it's still out there?
I don't care. You can spin it as much as you want.
Okay.
You can bop it, twist it, tap it, turn it, whatever.
But no slapping it. Not slapping
No slapping it.
Oh, what a special. Mr. Kinzer, putting you on the spot. Do you have anything new and fresh tonight?
Just, one of my favorite weekends is Memorial Weekend because that's just what I enjoy, that and Veterans Day. I think I mentioned that last time. And, we're going strong. I've got a ad coming up here talking about our store and healthy living. And so I hope you'll take note of that and come check us out.
Thank you for all your support. And Andrea, do you have anything else you want to add? I don't know. I don't get to dance in that little space very often, and I know that you guys are working on some great things. Is anything more you want to add to Mr. Kinzer's statements?
Actually, I have a quick video if I could share.
Please do.
2 minutes, I believe. Hang on tight.
Hi, I'm Brian, veteran, firefighter, patriot. I have a Memorial Day message about Made in America. When I served, I left these borders, as many of you did, to protect the freedoms and liberties we have as Americans. I believe that if we don't stand up and fight for our way of life, someone else will be happy to take it away. I was made in America, so yes, that phrase means something to me. What do I do about it? Well, first I serve and protect the citizens of my community, putting their needs before mine. Service above self is what I call it. I also spend my hard-earned money on made in America products and services, the ones that support American manufacturers and American jobs and the families they provide for. What I don't do is spend my money at Amazon and Walmart, Costco, Target, and the dollar store, and the dozens of other retailers that fill their shelves with non-American made products, just because they're cheap and they're good for the shareholders' bottom line. For me, that's just a kick in the teeth to the brothers and sisters who have sacrificed for Made in America. So we have a little online store that makes many of the things that everyone consumes every day. And every one of those is made in America. We're very proud of that and would like to share it with you. We'll also help support the People's Patriot Project when you shop there. I'll put a link in the comments, and we'll have a few posts in the People's Patriot Project Facebook page in the coming weeks. So I hope you'll have a look. For those of you that have and that shop with us, thank you very much. We all need stuff. And if you don't have time to look at our store or don't want to shop with us, that's fine. But show some respect for yourselves and for the brothers and sisters that gave everything to protect Made in America. And seek out Made in America products and services to spend your money on. Don't just go for cheap. Remember, you don't know them all, but you owe them all. One last thing. If enough people do this, our economy will improve without government regulation or handouts or stimulants. Remember where you were made, here in America. Thank you for your time.
That
Patriot Pride.
deserves a Patriot Pride. Great message, Brian. it leaves me speechless only in the fact that I think we have waved away from the center line, and I think it's time to bring it back. And that is taking care of our farmers, taking care of our local made in America products. And I think if we spend more time doing that, you're right. We can right the ship a little bit. Thank you for your time. Eric Mello, good to see you, brothers. Greetings and salutations. Sorry, I clicked off somebody doing their job.
Is the website live yet? Or are we waiting for like links to go check it out?
We do have links. Would you like us? Andrea's going to get those up, right, Andrea?
Yes.
She's frozen. Oh, you're back.
I missed one earlier. Travis Partington, Oscar Mike Radio. Good to see you, brother. We saw our Gabriel Wren, who allowed us to start our show on time as usual. Thank you, Gabriel Wren, for letting us do that.
I'd like to make an announcement.
Okay.
All of my hats are made in America by a company called Head and Home.
What's it called?
Head and Home, made in America. But yeah, they're all made here in the U.S. They're all high quality, pure leather. So, yeah, that's why I wear them.
Good for
Put
you.
them
It
Put
looks
them in
good
the
too.
Hey, Mark.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Brian, I have a true crime podcast, man. I'd love to promote your store on my podcast.
Oh, sounds great. I'll reach out to you after the show and we can talk about it.
Yeah, sweet, brother. Yeah,
Thank you.
I don't reach millions like Johnny does yet, but we'll get it out.
Sounds great.
I reached like 20s, or I don't know, not yet, not a lot yet. But go stream my music so we can.
The
So you're not
People's
like
Patriot Project reaches tens of tens, and Johnny Cole Murdoch reaches hundreds of hundreds, and we're just going to keep going, man. That's just what we do.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Just reach one at a time, right?
Amen.
Hey,
Amen.
one at a time, absolutely. But dude, I'm super about it too. Like once I get about it and I check it out, like I'll definitely share it. I'm all about buying stuff made in the USA, even if it's like inconvenient too, because it kind of is sometimes. It's really hard to like find made in the USA stuff.
Yeah, I
Off
hear you.
the subject,
Appreciate that.
off the subject, on the subject, but isn't that the crazy part about being or trying to be healthier, and getting all your veggies and getting all your fruits and stuff, and doing non-hormonal meats and stuff. It's expensive. It's expensive. It's not mass produced, so it gets expensive. And but it is the right thing to do. It is healthier for you. It helps. And I mean, this is a whole rabbit hole. I'm going to avoid that. Jared, what's next for you, brother?
What is next? I'm actually headed to Nashville this next week, and I'll be out there to promote both the MVAC and my podcast, All Things Crime, at a big convention called CrimeCon. It's kind of the true crime version of Comic-Con. So it's a pretty wild weekend.
Would it be a crime to miss it?
You jumbled together. Ask that again.
I got it. I was just saying, would it be a crime to miss it? I just couldn't help myself. I know I'm going to go to jail for that.
Yeah, I'm kicking you off my Christmas list for that one, Johnny.
Yeah. Now someone's going to MVAC my DNA and I'm going to get framed for something. Like, oh, look at these little Johnny Coles on here. It was obviously him.
We can arrange that.
So I can only imagine if because Comic-Con has all these cult followers. I mean, they get into it. I can only imagine, like, literally the steroids that the fans that show up to this thing are like? I mean, is this, I don't want to call anyone out, but is this like an FBI initiative to pull the people in that are doing this kind of stuff? I mean,
you know what? I wouldn't put anything past the FBI right now, but no, it's you'll have people from all over the country that are actually in the crime solving business, CSIs and detectives, DNA analysts, you name it. These guys, even criminal psychologists, all the experts will come in, and then they'll be given presentations. There's going to be tons of podcasters there, tons of vendors like me. And yeah, we spend basically 3.5 days together just talking about crime.
So
is there any LARPers there that are like dressed up like Jeffrey Dahmer being weird or something? It's like, oh man.
You can't spot those guys anyway. So
yeah.
Let's say walking around with a dinner bell.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is going to sound completely off. And again, I'm doing it for a purpose. With you and your MVAC machine, do you consider yourself an expert in the field of DNA?
I consider myself an expert in the field of DNA collection.
Okay.
So basically there's 3 major steps to developing a DNA profile. And collection is getting it off of the evidence or the surface initially, at the crime scene, or if they bring evidence back to the station. So getting the DNA off of that and then sending that DNA sample to the lab. That's where I live. So from there, the DNA analysts, the crime lab people, are the ones that take it and turn it into, the whole extraction and electrophoresis and all that kind of stuff. And that spits out the DNA profile. Sometimes it's kind of convoluted. So there's a third step that's kind of interpretation. That's basically saying, yep, this DNA profile matches the standard that we got from Mark Peterson, and the 2 match. They're like this. And now we know that Mark was in contact with this evidence, or he was at this crime scene, and then they got to figure out why you were there, man.
That's a good question, and we don't need to know those answers right now. But has your product been featured in any of the CSI shows?
Yeah, we actually have 3 episodes on the reboot of Forensics Files. To me, that's the one that's the biggest.
Okay.
But we were on we've been on 2020 and CSI, the drama show.
Right.
We were on an episode of that back in 2013. But yeah, for me, Forensics Files is by far the best crime show that is the most realistic and actually shows technology in the proper way. And yeah, it's kind of surreal seeing our system, and I've been on 2 of them, so
wow.
Kind of cool.
That is very cool. Now, and I might have missed some parts in my reboot here, and I apologize. Did you say your father is the curator of this product line?
Yeah, he again, back in 1993 when that E. coli outbreak happened, he was a microbiologist, and so he basically analyzed the entire problem and realized that the upfront collection was the weak point, and that's where he came up with the wet vacuum carpet cleaner concept, and that's how he invented the MVAC.
I apologize if you had said that earlier. I just
no, we actually haven't covered that.
Where do you see this product going in the future?
I just see it being used more and more, and the jurisdictions that have all the pieces together, the people that actually want to solve crime, including district attorneys and the chief of police and the mayor and all the people in the entire chain, when they really want to solve crime, they can grab technology like ours and combine it with the others, and they can. There's a few cases that are still out there that will probably never be solved, but as technology advances, man, there's almost no crime and no criminal that's safe. We'll get them. If there's DNA there, we'll get them.
It's like I kind of want to be on the wall here, in the fact that I feel that this technology is, again, I'm confident the right people are working on it, but it's going to spin so much direction of the world of crime. And I've been a huge fan of technology and the ability to run the people that are engaged in crime and shutting the door on crime. And I think that fixes some problems, because I think if you know that you're going to get caught, you are less chance of being involved in it. I think there's a lot of really dumb people on the face of the earth too. So we're not going to fix everything, but I do think it opens at least the window and the plausibility of catching people who are involved in those spaces. And I love it. I love it. Is there ever a time where you are directly involved in the collection, or are you just here's the product, go use it, or do you help with the processes?
I pretty much train the guys that will, and especially in the U.S., I don't touch evidence, because then then they'll got to call me back and I'll spend 3 days on the stand, and who's got time for that stuff? So, but in other countries, I've gotten involved, but they don't have quite the same protections that we do here, thanks to the Constitution.
Would I be out of line to ask what is the largest case you've been involved in? Is that keep it on the down low?
The largest, you're talking most victims or what?
Like the most, a case that maybe the world. Now you brought up, was it Jack in the Box? I do remember those cases. Was it Jack in the Box? The hamburgers back in the day?
Yeah, the E. coli one.
Yeah. I remember that well. And that
wasn't a criminal case though, but
no, right.
So this is pretty big news, and the last episode on my podcast we just launched, we talked about the West Memphis 3, and a lot of your listeners may be familiar with that case. That's where 3 little boys were murdered, and they found them in a drainage ditch, and 3 teenagers were actually convicted of the crime, and then they were, I think, 18 years they spent in jail, and they were released. And ever since then, and this happened like in the 90s, ever since they were convicted, they've been trying to prove their innocence, and they finally convinced the Arkansas Supreme Court to release the evidence to get tested, and it specifically states the MVAC. So I think the West Memphis 3 is right up there with John Benet Ramsey and O.J. Simpson. Man, this is a huge case. So if the MVAC can actually find DNA on the 3 boys were tied up with shoestrings with the laces out of their shoes. And if the MVAC can actually find DNA off of those shoelaces, you'll be reading about it everywhere.
Wow. There was several cases here in Minnesota about down in the southern part, down by Andrea, not related to Andrea, but down by the Red Wing area, there were babies being put in the river. And I do know that recently these were being solved through DNA, but I don't know that has anything to do with MVAC, and I don't know how all those pieces play. But I do know that they were able to start, and they found one of the mothers of this, because they have active DNA because they have the child. They were able to find one of the mothers through that just recently. I'm totally off here.
Yeah, I don't think that it would have anything to do with MVAC,
True.
but that's probably the genealogical DNA that we were talking about earlier.
Yep. Johnny Cole Murdoch, what's next for you, brother?
You're muted.
Microphone, bro. Microphone. Check.
Oh, I muted that so I don't have ADHD blurbs. But but the next exciting thing for me is I got this really cool song I wrote called "These Colors Don't Run." It should be coming out sometime next month. I'm almost done with it. I recorded the vocals. Everything else was tracked in Nashville, and I got to overdub a sweet patriotic guitar solo on it. And it's coming out next month. It's super awesome. I'm really proud of it. It's kind of like a modern day version of Courtesy the Red, White, and Blue way. It's like it's just a very much like, grab the flag and run with it kind of song, talking about the good parts of America, and we won't stand down to those things and the people that have lost their lives. And there's so much animosity and stuff towards the American flag because of all the political situations that we're in. But at the end of the day, I'm about the American flag. I'm about traditional American views and fighting for those kind of things. And I think it'll resonate with a lot of people. It's one of the best songs I've ever written, and yeah, I'm just really excited for it.
Excited. We've always been excited about what Johnny Cole Murdoch does. He is one of those artists that once we connected with him, he's always been there in great support. He was part of our Shock and Awe Fest down in Texas this last year. We, again, appreciate all you always being there for us and just the conversation you're willing to have with us. And we support everything that you do, brother, and whatever we can do to help, let us know.
Appreciate that. And I guess the other thing new that I forgot to mention, I'm not always great with these interview things, is I'm getting started out here in East Texas, but there's a great organization that helps support veterans called Guitars for Vets. They give free guitars to vets and guitar lessons. And after they get through 10 lessons, they get a certificate and an accessory pack. And I already got plenty of guitars. I play guitar. I actually have a music degree. So I want to help give back to the veteran community and do that. It's not something easy and a lot of fun to build community. It's with COVID, so many people are alone. And once we can bring music into people's lives, if they're struggling with something, they can play guitar and write a song about it. It'll help you get through that moment a little bit, especially if there's other people doing it too. Even have little veteran jams or something. I mean, there's so many exciting things that could come out of it. So
absolutely. And again, we are fully 100% acknowledge and believe that music is a pathway to the soul, and listening to it is therapeutic, playing it is therapeutic, and that's one of the missions of why we've been so aggressive in making sure that we're pushing all of our veteran and first responder musicians. And again, we have a dialogue we'd like to involve you in post show if you got time, Johnny.
Absolutely.
Miss Kimmer, you said you had another poem for us tonight.
I do. This is the one I wrote right after Ashes to Ashes and Dust to Dust. It's called A Shimmer of Hope. It feels as though I'm losing this battle. I'm not looking forward to listening to any more psychobabble. I'm so close to just giving up. Yes, indeed, running over is my cup. You may ask then, why am I writing this? Sounds like I've already hit my final abyss. But there is something else down deep, something that has held on, something I can keep. It's a shimmer of hope that I will be able to continue to cope. And as long as I can keep this feeling, I will overcome what I am currently dealing. At least that is what I'm telling myself. It could be a word from you or Nicole, my VA now elf. I do feel like I've used my last lifeline, but yet here I am still trying to climb. From the dark and lonely and fatal place, somewhere and somehow, I need to leave a pace. But still I must understand and learn, because there is reason for me to be concerned. I have thought about all the ways to end my life, but I just can't give up, not during this fight. I must continue going forward. I'm being honest and straightforward. This is so unlike me, The thought of suicide won't let me be. It would be so easy to pick up the bottle, not to care, letting go of everything, full throttle. But the shimmer of hope comes to surface again. It so desperately wants to be my friend. She hasn't steered me wrong as of yet, not once since she and I first met. Can I believe her this time, while in my deepest, darkest grime? I know that I need help. It's just too hard doing so by myself. I have reached out for help, yes, I did. And I still am. I can't fib. Is it as urgent as it was? I'm still here, and mostly because the shimmer of hope is keeping my life afloat. I can't give up, not this time, because within me I still find a willingness to save a life, this time my own, and keeping this feeling within my grasp in the tone. And with your help and kindness, I cannot be alone. And with grace on this earth, I will continue to roam.
Again, an absolute blessing. Thank you, Kimmer, for everything that you do.
Thank you for allowing me.
Well, we've gotten to this hour, and Jonathan just left. I was just getting ready to give him the prompt to bring the show to close. We will, Miss Eichmann, why don't you start it? Do our calls to action, and then we'll also get our future guests lined up.
Yeah. Actually, so can I mention this real quick? We do have a few of these left. These lovely spent 50 calibers made into a very cool bottle opener. Amazing and fun, all in one. It's kind of fun to carry them in your pocket or your purse and then whip them out when someone needs a bottle opened. They are, I don't know, let us know, because we just have a few, maybe a few more than I thought left. I got that. Peterson's got some. Just get in touch with us if you would like one of those. We are prepping and planning for Reads Across America. I just checked all of our messages, and it's kind of crazy. We have Peterson and I jumped in last year in October, and Fort Snelling is one of the bigger cemeteries in the United States. We didn't have a clue what we were doing, and it worked out wonderfully. People want to help, and it's super cool. And I think right now we have more volunteers at this moment than we do positions we know what to do with. So we will take more volunteers, and it'll be amazing this year. So that's what this is what I'm currently working on big time, and booking and planning for future. We got your 6 at 6 shows, because that's what we're really good at. I want to thank our guests for coming on tonight. I can't tell you how much we appreciate it. And I guess, Jared, I knew that you had a podcast, and I would like to, I'm going to go watch some more and see. I don't know. I'll probably be sharing it with my friends. They love kind of crime shows. Super looking forward to learning more about that. And then Johnny Cole, thanks for answering the call. Can't wait to hear more music from you. And then next week we've got so far Corey Schaefer of Till Valhalla Project joining us. So check out the store. The Switch Stores link is up in our notes up here, or just get a hold of me or Brian through Messenger is probably one of the better ways from here, and let us know, and we'll get you pointed in the right direction. So thank you all for popping in, watching, and being who you are. That's cool.
Jonathan, what do you got, brother?
There we go. Issues with pressing buttons at the moment. That's what I got. No, I just, man, for a long time, I wanted to do stuff in the community. I wanted to be part of something, and the opportunity finally presented itself. And a lot of that had to do with becoming a part of the People's Patriot Project. And I'm just saying, if the opportunity to help or do anything outside of your comfort zone to that may benefit you or others, try your best to get the courage to do it, because the reward is amazing. Opportunity comes knocking, answer the call. That's pretty much what I got. Mark's having problems with buttons now too.
You're muted, Peterson. Dang.
Jared, anything in closing, brother?
Oh, he's muted as well.
Gotcha.
What do we
Yeah,
have?
you gotta let me talk, Mark. No, it's what an honor to be on. Happy Memorial Day to everybody out there, and just be safe, and remember all those just absolute pure patriots that would be willing to sacrifice their very lives for the freedoms that we enjoy. And we owe them everything that we have, everything that we enjoy in life. We owe it all to veterans and first responders that have given the ultimate sacrifice. To me, that's the most honorable thing that we can do, is to not just, party it up and enjoy a 3-day weekend, but to actually remember those that went before us.
Thank you for being on, brother. Thank you for all you do, and keep up the mission. Mr. Kinzer.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I've got a full day planned. I'm going to spend a little time remembering a few of my brothers that aren't around anymore, and think about them a little bit, and honor the ones that I don't know. And then I'm going to spend some time educating my daughters and granddaughters about what I just did, and try and carry on that tradition with them. So happy Memorial Day, everybody.
Thank you for all you do, Mr. Kinzer. Mr. Johnny Cole.
Yeah. I guess final thoughts. I mean, Memorial Day is a very important day, for those who made the ultimate sacrifice. So definitely going to be taking time to think about those who came before us, that laid a foundation of freedom that we have, from George Washington all the way up to today. I mean, that generation of people. We bear a great responsibility of those who came before us. So it's important to remember them and not forget their sacrifices.
You're a blessing, brother. Thank you for all you do. Miss Kimmer.
Yeah, I'd like to thank the guest tonight. It was a real learning experience. My sister was murdered, and it's still an unsolved case. So, yeah, I'm really interested in learning more about what you do. Johnny, thanks for the music. You've been really fun tonight. Good guest. And I'd like to thank everybody that reached out to me during my darkest time last week. I really appreciate it and love you all. Mark, you.
Yep. Thank you for being here, Kimmer. We'll get there. We'll figure it out. First time, first show, right? Got a couple calls to action. First of all, I echo, mimic, and continue to echo. I said that already. Everything that's been said tonight about we all get to lay our big fat heads on the pillow of freedom every single day. I don't know that we take a lot of time thinking about how we got there, why we got there, or how we're allowed to even be able to do that. But every single opportunity that we have has been given to us because of the men and women who have served this country and our communities as first responders. I thank all of them. My heart goes out to those that are missing family members because they chose to serve. And we also support you as well. Thank you for all the men and women who, it's kind of morbid and kind of sad, but are laying in the hollow grounds across this country because you chose to do something bigger than yourself and given us these opportunities. We've gone with the call of action for a couple of months now with placing an index card somewhere in your space that says, what are you doing? To remind you, what are you part of? What are you thinking about? What are the pieces that you are going to consume and give back out? And our message is always positive. Examples are, we had Miss Olam come on and shared how they've gotten away from the use of post-traumatic stress disorder and using post-traumatic growth. There are ways to spin absolutely everything that we face and confront daily into a positive message, A, for yourself, B, for others. And sometimes if you're doing it for others, that's the A, and then that makes your life. To serve others is therapeutic. The other piece that we always do, our call to action, is we all have a device on us. And we have some people on. Earlier, we had people on here that talked about how they're going to go do a ruck march. And for some, that's important. For others, that's Mr. Phil Cook. Others don't think that that's an important piece. It's not mine to judge, and I don't judge. We know that there's some are out there doing it. First of all, if you're judging what other people are doing to bring recognition to the purpose and cause, and you're not doing anything, find your index card and go find something to do. There's some people that think 22 push-ups a day is, hey, brother and sister, if you want to do your push-ups, do your push-ups. It's not mine to judge. What I do know is that each of us can take and text, I was just thinking about you, to 1, but we would also like you to consider 6 of your friends and family that just stir the conversation, stir the opportunity. When you are screaming through Facebook and then scrolling, take a moment and see who has got some of the verbiage out there. Mr. Jeremy Daniels, I want to address you personally. Thank you for always being here. You asked earlier, how far should you go in your verbiage and in your mission and in your story? Brother, you go as far as you need to go. We know your struggles. We know what you've been through. You've shared it with us, and you are deserving of what you can get through your mission and through your message. And we'll do the best we can to support everything that you do, brother. We appreciate you. Thank you. Again, I would ask you, take one of your contacts, the one that you don't think is the one that you think you can get through, the one that you think you broke the relationship. It's a challenge. This is the hard one, the tough one. I jokingly say, you know what? It doesn't have to be your ex-wife or your ex-girlfriend or boyfriend. Make it the person that you had a falling out with and just said, hey, you know what? I'm thinking about you today. I promise you, these reach outs are making a difference. They are changing lives. They are doing things to other people's lives that you're not aware of. And this is how we get through our mission, the calls to action. We appreciate everyone. Tomorrow we'll be here at 4:30 sharing the direct mission, purpose, and cause of the People's Patriot Project and what we're working on, what we're getting through. We do that at 4:30. And Mr. Cole, Johnny Cole Murdoch, is going to get more music out to us, and we're going to get it to you and put it on Weepy Through Radio as soon as we get the chance to do that. And you can always go out to our YouTube and I want to say like and share. You can't really like and share, but you can subscribe. Make sure you go out there and make sure we got the largest pathway for what we're doing and getting the voice out for all those. And we're going to close with a good friend, Josh Garrett, who Jonathan got the chance to see down this weekend. An amazing jazz pop, Southern Louisiana, just an amazing musician. We love having Josh Garrett in our network. Hey, we'll see you guys when the smoke clears. Again, Josh Garrett, back to Memphis. Patriot Pride.
Well, I packed a bag for Memphis, 'cause this damned old hurricane, water's rising, people, from the crazy wind and rain, crawling northbound in the southbound lane. Better leave this town, 'cause drowning ain't no game. If I ever get back from Memphis, if I ever get back from Memphis. Well, I packed my bags for Memphis, gridlocked on 61, 16 miles from Natchez. I heard a cough, the gas was done. Now I'm walking, and the sun ain't playing. Hope there's gas, y'all, at the next gas station. If I ever get back from Memphis, if I ever get back from Memphis, oh yes.
Patriot Pride.